Hello, and thank you for joining us on this video regarding Ensemble Music Scheduler. My name is Paul Stewart with ENCO Systems, and today I'm going to walk you through the operation of the Ensemble Music Scheduler that is built into DAD. First, we're going to take a look at the groups and how we can set an average total time per group. We're going to take a look at the clocks, how to create a clock, how to modify clocks. We're going to take a look at the hours window and how to set a clock per a specific hour. And we're going to take a look at the rules. We're going to probably set one or two rules. And then we're going to generate a playlist so we can see the result of our efforts. So first I'm going to take a look right here at the groups pop up. We're going to click on groups, and we're going to see that we have ultimately all the groups that are listed in our groups database. So if you are familiar with seeing this type of window from the setup screen, it's very much the same thing. If we go into music, for instance, we can see just how many cuts are in that group. We've got 1,270 cuts in that group. It's a pretty big group. Let's check to see if we've added or deleted any since the last time we calculated the song average length. We're going to go ahead right here and click Calculate Song Average Length, and it stays the same at 3 minutes and 53 seconds. So that's all right. What that means to me is that of all the songs in this group, they are approximately 3 minutes and 53 seconds long. So that's the average that we use when building the clock. So we're going to go ahead and click Update, and we're going to close out of that. You would repeat the same process for all of the groups that you plan on using. In our clocks designer, we're going to go ahead and see that we have 3 clocks built already. I'm going to go ahead and add a new clock. And we're going to call this Red 12:00 for Wednesday at 12 noon. We're going to go ahead and click the name button to assign that name. And then let's give it a description real quick. We'll say Wednesday at 12 noon. Add that description to the clock as well. Once we have the clock added, we can start adding elements to that clock. So your common clock elements here: break note, comment, DAD event, library cut, songs, news, and spot set. We're going to take a look today at DAD event, library cut, songs, and comment. So first we're going to go into let's go into songs. Let's put an ID here at the top of our hour. We're going to go into the ID category, and we're going to double click on songs. We see that the average length specified for our IDs is 13 seconds. You can see a little sliver of an ID added to that clock there on the right. So once we've ID'd, we're just going to start adding some music. And we see that average time length that we had set in groups, 03:53, appears right down there. So let's go ahead and add songs roughly to the 15-minute, and then we'll put, say, a couple of PSAs in there. And maybe we're a non-commercial station, or we're running PSAs there at the 15 past the hour. And let's put a jingle to come back from the break and go back into some more music. So there we started adding some cuts to the first half of that hour. What's interesting to note is that you do not need to create 24 individual clocks per day, and you do not need to create 7 individual days per week. All you need to do at this point in the Ensemble Clock Designer is essentially create the template for a clock. So, for instance, I said this is Wednesday, 12 noon, but this could be Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 12 noon. Or this could be, Wednesday all day. So let's add a library cut. Now, we want to go into our library and check to see what cut we are trying to add here. And let's say we're going into PSA and we have a spot that we want to play every hour at the 30 minutes. We'll go ahead and do this one. 02030. And what we're doing here is specifying the data drive, the library name, which is cuts in our case, and the cut number. And we're going to go ahead and double click and add 02030 to that element. So what's important to note is that with these songs element denoted by the type M, we're looking at a group and we're essentially asking for one of the cuts that resides in that group. So we're not guaranteed we know what's going to play at this stage of the game. Of course, once we create the playlist, as you'll see, we'll know exactly what we're playing. But with library cut, we're able to specify exactly what we're playing and at what time we're playing it. So let's get back into the music. We'll go back to songs and specify music once again, and just keep filling up our hour here. Maybe again at the 45 we take a quick break for some PSAs. Here's an interesting shortcut that you can take. If you click on an existing element in the clock, and then you go back to the same element type and double click on it, you can add that type of element. For instance, I clicked on PSA, and I double clicked on clock element type M, songs, and it added the PSAs. If I go back to, say, a jingle, click on songs again, it'll add a jingle. Go back to music, double click on music a few times, and we are scheduling out of our music category. So we're almost at the top of the hour here, and certainly I could add, say, another jingle or two, and we can add that in there. But oftentimes you'll want to overschedule your hour, and we do that typically because the average song length of 3 minutes and 53 seconds is just that. It's an average. And it's entirely possible that if you have, especially if you have a group with very long and very short cuts in it, that you could finish the hour a little early. And of course that would throw your branches off and your IDs would be off. So we always recommend overscheduling the hour. So we're going to go back to music and let's just schedule 2 more songs. We'll put in 3 more songs there. Now, that is our clock. It looks like it's not full, but as you can see, it renumbered itself all the way up to 90 minutes. And so we're right around 71, 72 minutes in length there. So that's sufficient. That's a good looking clock. Now, what we have to do now is add branch events. So the branch events are actually going to be inserted at the very top here in most clocks. So if we go into DAT event, and the DAT event type is going to be one of our branches. Now, of course, FB refers to a forward-backward, and FO refers to a forward only. And then, of course, we have an forward backward hard, a forward backward soft, a forward only hard, and a forward only soft branch. We're going to use a soft branch because, say, we're an all music station. We don't do any satellite automation in our example here. So we're going to go ahead and select forward only soft, and we're going to add that to the clock. Now, as you can see, it inserted it at the end, which is typical of adding something at the last location. So we're going to pick it up, and we're just going to drag it to the top there. We're going to put it up on top of that ID. We're going to put it above the ID. Now, I'm going to go through and I'm going to change the transition codes for a number of the different elements in our clock. So, for instance, the forward-only soft branch has transition code of A. That's pretty typical, and that's typically how you want your soft and hard branches to function. The ID currently has transition code S for segue. I'm going to change that to A, autoplay, so that the ID has a chance to finish completely before that first song starts. This song, this song, this song, and this song will each segue into each other. But I don't want the last song in this set to segue into the public service announcement, so I'm going to set autoplay as the transition code for this song as well. The PSA should not segue into the other PSA, and this PSA should get a chance to finish as well before we play out the jingle. The jingle can certainly segue into the music, and we're just going to go through and continue to change each of these transition codes. Alright, now we have finished this clock, and we can just go ahead and simply close that clock. And we're going to move into hours. This is the Ensemble Hour Assignment page, and this allows you to specify which clock is scheduled for which hour of which day. So today is Monday, and it's about 4:30 in the afternoon. So I'm going to select 5 o'clock p.m. hour, and I'm going to double click on our clock. Even though I set it for Wednesday at noon, that's simply the name of it. So we're going to set the upcoming hour here to our new playlist. But let's say we wanted to set all of the hours on Monday to this Wednesday 12 o'clock. Well, then we would simply click on Monday and double click on the clock we wanted, and it's going to assign that clock for each hour of that day. We're going to go ahead and select close. Alright, well, our next stop is the rules page. Here in the rules page, we are able to create rules by which Ensemble schedules the final playlist. And this allows us to discriminate certain cuts from playing after certain cuts by the same artist, on the same album, same title, and what have you. So we're going to create an artist title, or an artist rule here. And we're going to effectively separate certain artists from playing back to back. So in the scope here, we're going to select all songs. And we're going to select the type, artist, because we don't want two of the same artists playing back to back. And we're simply going to come down here and check both this checkbox and that checkbox. And that's going to insert the appropriate wildcards, which allow us to essentially prevent song by artist followed by song from the same artist. So then we're going to go ahead and put it in a duration in the hours, minutes, seconds format. And we're going to say it needs to be 3 hours, 03, colon, and we'll say 30 minutes, 0 seconds. And we're going to click on Add Rule. So this is great. So the description updates for us. It says, for all songs, prevent song by artist any, followed by song from artist same, within the last 3 hours, 30 minutes from each other. So we don't always want this rule to apply. For instance, if our station uses the artist field in IDs, jingles, commercials, and what have you to denote the producer who made the audio asset. So we might want to ignore certain groups. So let's do that. We want to ignore COM for commercials, commands, IDs, jingles, PSA, and it looks like that's about it. But we want to make sure that the music group is unchecked there so that we're not ignoring that. So we're going to go ahead and click Update Rule and close out of that. So there you have it. We've created a rule that's going to ensure that we don't have multiple artists scheduled within 3 hours and 30 minutes of each other. The last thing to do is to generate a playlist. So this is the Ensemble playlist generator, and this allows us to essentially schedule a day's playlist. So it's the 16th today, so let's go ahead and schedule the 17th. We'll schedule tomorrow's playlist. Or rather, no, we're going to schedule next week, the 23rd. We're going to schedule next Monday, the 23rd. And we're going to leave the start and end hour alone for most situations. And the playlist is going to automatically update its name. So as you see here, our format is 2-digit month, 2-digit day, and 4-digit year. So that's going to update as we click on different days in this calendar picker. We're going to go ahead and click on Generate. It's going to go ahead and schedule out the playlist here. And then it'll show up in Ensemble, and we'll be able to double-click on that to view it in the playlist modifier. There we see a playlist. The name is 11/23/2015, and it has 696 elements in it. And we're going to double-click on that. We're going to see how it turned out. So here we have our soft branch at the 1 o'clock hour. We have our ID. We have some music here. We have our PSAs. Let's see. The 02030 cut that we had scheduled around the 30-minute mark, that came in perfectly at 29:26. We've got our PSAs here at the 45 minutes roughly, 44 to 46 minutes, followed by a jingle, some more music. And look at this, we played the jingles near the top of the hour, and then the music was scheduled in there as well. But there's a soft branch in here. And the soft branch is going to cut to the next hour, this 1 o'clock hour, when the top of the hour is reached. However, it's going to let the currently playing song play out before it jumps ahead. So another ID, some music, the PSAs, and then of course we have our cut number 02030 at the roughly bottom of the hour, and that continues. So if we need to make any changes to the playlist, we can certainly do that from right in here in the playlist modifier. And if so, then we simply save it and close out of it. And then when we are ready to make that the final playlist for that scheduled day, we're going to click on it and click on Finalize. Select OK, and it's going to finalize the playlist. And that effectively marks that playlist as ready to go for any and all applications that need to use the playlist. Well, I hope you enjoyed, and if you have any questions, please do not hesitate to reach out to Enco Systems Technical Support at 248-827-4440, or visit us on the web, www.enco.com, and we'd be happy to help you with all of your Ensemble needs. Thank you very much.